These characters keep us laughing it up, and away. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 comic relief characters in superhero movies.
I have never felt such shoes!
So unbelievably uncool.
For this list, we'll be examining the characters that are best able to provide some much-needed laughs in films with superheroes or based on comic book properties.
We gotta finish our hip-hop Christmas album, bro. You're the hype man.
Number 10. Lewis, Ant-Man franchise.
Look, it's okay. They can handle this.
Yeah, we can handle it.
You got their credentials?
He's in the system.
I'm in the system. You're in the system. The system?
We're doomed.
Scott Ant-Man Lang is a funny guy in his own right, but it's his former cellmate Lewis that often steals the show in this microscopic superhero franchise. Excitable and prone to awkward ramblings that go into way too much detail, Lewis and the rest of Scott's criminal-turned-clean counterparts are always around to provide valuable backup for our main heroes, even if they sometimes end up getting distracted along the way.
What in the hell does this have to do with where Scott Lang is?
I'm getting there.
You put a dime in him, you gotta let the whole song play out.
He'd like human jukebox.
Oh, my abuelita had a jukebox in the restaurant. Yeah, only played Morrissey.
We can only hope that Lewis and the rest of the ex-con security consultants return in future sequels to keep landing as many jokes as they do punches.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I call an unfortunate casualty in a very serious operation.
Number 9. Tom Manning, Hellboy franchise.
I want that thing locked up, starting now, right now. Do you? No, you hear me?
A stuffy government bureaucrat may not scream comic relief to most people, but Tom Manning provides it nonetheless. Acting as the demonic Hellboy's boss at the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense, or BPRD, Manning acts as the liaison to the outside world and has the unenviable task of trying to keep the big red guy and everything else supernatural a secret from the public.
Oh, it's Friday.
I tell you, fish stick, he hates me. He's out to destroy me. My street cred is low.
Street cred.
My mojo.
Manning's exasperation at Hellboy's attitude and indifference to him, as well as his relatable actions to danger and all things weird, make him an excellent straight man.
You never light a cigar that way. You use a wooden match. Preserves the flavor, you see?
Number 8. Otis, Superman franchise.
Is that the newspaper I asked you to get me?
Yeah.
Why am I not reading it?
Because I haven't given it to you yet?
Right.
Henchmen and sidekicks make for fantastic comic relief, and Otis is a great example of the former. A crony of the villainous Lex Luthor, Otis is simple-minded and accident-prone. His affable attitude and eagerness to follow Luthor make him very endearing, in spite of the evil deeds they commit.
Don't feel bad, Mr. Luthor. It almost worked. I mean, California almost fell right in the ocean. Millions of people was almost killed.
In addition, Luthor's charming villainy, superior intellect, and patent cynicism turn his interactions with the far more innocent Otis into an amusing double act straight out of classic comedy. Otis may be a dope, but he's a lovable one, and a highlight of the Superman films.
Do you realize what people are shelling out up there for a few miserable rooms off a common elevator? What more could anyone ask?
Number 7. Michelangelo, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise.
Can you hear me? Do you know what city you're in? Do you know where you are?
Have you seen that video where the cat plays chopsticks with the chopstick?
Can we focus here?
Although all 4 of the adolescent ninjutsu practicing turtle brothers have their moments of levity, Michelangelo is unquestionably the comic relief. By far the most immature of the group, Mikey embraces his role as the funny one by making frequent silly remarks, references to pop culture, and spouting many of the turtles' catchphrases, including Cowabunga.
Still got one in the tank.
I've been holding it in for years.
Wait, guys, we need to play it!
With his playful attitude, nunchaku, and a love of activities in common with kids, Michelangelo is incredibly popular with the franchise's target demographic, although plenty of older fans can enjoy his optimism and sense of fun.
MC.
Number 6. Peter Maximoff, aka Quicksilver.
Could save time in a bottle. The first thing that I'd like to do.
While the Justice League has The Flash and The Incredibles have Dash, is arguably the funniest silver screen representation of any quick-witted speedster on a superhero team. A mutant with super speed, Peter Maximoff is prone to high-speed rescues in the films he appears in, although the audience views the events as he sees them, in slow motion. Quicksilver's actions during these sequences are often accompanied by fitting music and often consist of him messing around with people and other things slower than him, making for some hilarious visual comedy. Despite his limited screen time, Quicksilver is an indisputable highlight of every film he appears in.
It's cool, it was disgusting.
Number 5. Freddy Freeman, Shazam.
Oh, hey, what's up? I'm a superhero.
Yeah, his name is, Captain Sparkle Fingers.
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's not my name.
As the first DC Universe film to go for a purely comedic tone, Shazam hits a home run by placing Billy Batson's compulsively comedic foster brother front and center as the titular hero's plucky sidekick. Freddy Freeman's ability to joke about uncomfortable subjects allows this film to do away with the self-seriousness that plagues the DCEU without sacrificing any of the story's heart.
You look at me and you're like, why so dark? You're a disabled foster kid. You've got it all, right?
Actor Jack Dylan Grazer has excellent chemistry with both versions of Billy Batson, which isn't lost when, spoiler alert, Freddy himself transforms into his own adult-age superhero and passes the reins to this playful portrayal to OC alum Adam Brody for his very first battle.
You're not gonna believe this, but you're actually the first villain I've ever fought. It's like kind of a huge deal for me.
Number 4. Ned, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Join me and together we'll build my new Lego Death Star.
What?
So lame.
No way, that's awesome. How many pieces?
Peter Parker's best friend, a computer whiz, and an ardent Lego enthusiast, Ned discovers his friend's secret identity as Spider-Man by accident.
You're the Spider-Man from YouTube.
I'm not.
Thereafter, Ned pesters Peter with questions about his powers and his double life with all the enthusiasm you'd expect of a teenager discovering his friend is a superhero, while also helping push him to be more social, albeit embarrassing him at the same time. Ned's skill with computers also comes in handy as he becomes Peter's proverbial tech support. All in all, Ned's a fun and funny character, as well as a great guy in the chair to everyone's favorite web slinger.
Can I be your guy in the chair?
What?
You know how there's a guy with a headset telling the other guy where to go?
Number 3. Korg, Thor franchise.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Korg. I'm kind of like the leader in here. I'm made of rocks, as you can see, but don't let that intimidate you. You don't need to be afraid unless you're made of scissors. Just a little rock, paper, scissors joke for you.
The third solo installment in the Thor franchise gets about as far from the doom and gloom of the first two films as it possibly can without leaving the Nine Realms. This is in large part thanks to director Taika Waititi, who not only shines as the improvisationally inclined director, but also in the role of Korg, a Cronin gladiator forced to fight on the planet Sakaar after failing to print enough pamphlets for his revolution.
As punishment, I was forced to be in here and become a gladiator. Bit of a promotional disaster, that one. But I'm actually organizing another revolution.
The soft personality residing inside his hard exterior results in comedic gold that's first introduced in Thor Ragnarok and continues into appearances like his cameo in Avengers Endgame, making us eager to see this perishable rock monster pop up as often as possible.
Me from Korg, right?
Hey, boys!
Hey guys, long time no see.
Beers on the bucket. Feel free to log into the Wi-Fi. No password, obviously.
Number 2. Drax, Guardians of the Galaxy franchise.
I have famously huge turds.
We're about to die, and this is what we're discussing.
This character is like Amelia Bedelia on steroids. Seriously. When Drax isn't flexing his swole physique, he's taking things a bit too literally, which makes for some amazingly funny moments.
That's when you...
Why would I put my finger on his throat?
What? Oh, no, it's a symbol. This is a symbol.
Combine this with his unfiltered honesty that often makes his fellow Guardians uncomfortable, and you have a recipe for one of the greatest comedic characters in the superhero game. Portrayed by Dave Bautista, Drax's physicality and delivery are grounded in a devout sincerity, which somehow helps make the jokes even funnier. Fans of the MCU see him as one of the funniest characters in the franchise. That is, when they're able to see him at all.
I've mastered the ability of standing so incredibly still that I've become invisible to the eye. Watch.
Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
See, I believe enemies are coming.
Stop right there. I'm in.
You are?
Yeah, I need friends.
The warnings come after the spell.
What is a secretary?
Ooh, well, I do everything. I go where he tells me to go and I do what he tells me to do.
Oh, well, where I'm from, that's called slavery.
I really like her.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Ladies, and for you?
I do.
Yes. All the answers you seek will be yours once I reclaim Mjolnir.
Mjolnir? What's Mjolnir?
Since you've taken the post,
You don't have to thank
we've
me.
had a rise in staff complaints of 300%.
Thank you.
It's not a compliment.
It's not it is a compliment.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. J. Jonah Jameson, Spider-Man franchise.
Put an ad on the front page. Cash money for a picture of Spider-Man. He doesn't want to be famous, and I'll make him infamous.
Superheroism isn't always well received, but few of its critics are as harsh as J. Jonah Jameson. Spider-Man's biggest detractor, as well as Peter Parker's boss at the Daily Bugle, Jameson is a generally petty and boorish man who constantly does everything he can to unknowingly lambaste his superpowered employee. On paper, that sounds unappealing, but Jameson's rapid-fire dialogue and over-the-top narcissism make him incredibly charming and hilarious.
I got a garbage man here, so he's got something you might want to see.
Don't tell me you have the head of an extraterrestrial in there, because if you do, you're the third guy this week.
We're sure it'd be terrible to have Jameson for a boss, but from the outside looking in, he's an absolute joy to watch.
Pay him nothing and run it on the cover. Stop the presses, send my wife some flowers, and bring me an ad bill. What do you mean you don't work for me? You're hired. Now that you're hired, you're fired. Now that you don't work here, we can be friends. Now that we're friends, how come you never call? Some friend you are. God, I love this business.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.